6 after this morning, Samantha Rivera is at the Marquette Fire Department telling us about safety tips for the holiday season. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning, Vicki. That's right. On average, U.S. fire departments respond to a total of 210 home structure fires. Now, 3 out of those 10 are because of electrical problems, and 1 out of every 4 because of a heat source that's a little too close to the trees. Now, if you have a real Christmas tree, you might run into the problem of the tree being a little too dry. In that case, you want to remember to water it as much as possible and just be careful with it. Later on in the show, we'll talk to firefighter Kevin Sirkowski to share some tips on how to stay safe with your trees this holiday season. So make sure to stay tuned. Live here in Marquette, I'm Samantha Rivera, TV6 News.
Thank you very much, Samantha. We'll catch up with you a little bit later. Right now, for the latest on the weather, let's head over to Weather Center 6. 12 after the hour, let's head back out to Marquette. Samantha Rivera telling us about Christmas tree safety. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning, Vicki. Yeah, according to the National Fire Prevention Association, every year U.S. fire departments respond to 210 home structure fires. So while they aren't all that common, when they do happen, it is very serious. So you want to make sure that you're as prepared as possible. And here to tell us more about it is firefighter Kevin Sirkowski from the Marquette Fire Department. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
So when it comes to artificial trees, what are some tips that people can use to make sure that they're safe?
Well, one thing for artificial trees is make sure that they're fire retardant. On a lot of the boxes, you'll see UL under Writer's Laboratory, and a lot of these, laboratories will do studies on the trees to make sure that if they're artificial, they're safe to have in your home.
When it comes to real trees, you want to make sure that they're not dry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So when picking out a tree, you want to make sure that you find a nice green tree, and you want to make sure that all the needles aren't falling off. When you first get the tree, you want to make sure that you cut 2 inches from the base and make sure you water it every day inside the tree stand. One thing that a lot of people don't know is, as you said before, 200 structure fires happen per year due to dry Christmas trees. And the reason being is, it is very flammable, and one thing that we want to kind of prevent is less fires as we can, while making sure your trees are watered and everything like that.
What other tips can you share about making sure that you're careful with the lighting around your tree?
Yeah, so if you use lights, for example, plug-in lights, under Writer's Laboratory, they also do studies on lights, for example, for what's safe to use on Christmas trees. One thing that we always tell people try not to do is use actual candles on Christmas trees in the case of if your Christmas tree does go dry. Keeping it away from heat sources such as fireplaces, especially during Christmas time, and also keeping it away from radiators and other heater sources just like that. So kind of keeping it away from that can kind of prevent, those Christmas trees from drying out even more and possibly preventing a fire.
Now, in the event that a fire does happen, what do you do?
The first thing would be to do is to call 911. Whether you think it's small or large, if you call 911, we show up and the fire's out. That's no big deal for us. For people who have a fire extinguisher, it's always good for people and families to go over how to use that fire extinguisher and how to correctly use it and make sure they know how to activate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we return, we're going to talk more about what kind of aftercare you can do for your trees this holiday season. So make sure to stay tuned. Live in Marquette, Samantha Rivera, TV6 News.
We have a consumer alert this morning about Christmas tree safety.
Although tree fires aren't common, when they do happen, they are more likely to be serious.
Samantha joins us again from the Marquette City Fire Department. Samantha, tell us what you're learning this morning.
Good morning again, Andrew and Vicki. That's right. Like we mentioned in the last half hour, the National Fire Prevention Association said that at least every year they have about 210 home structure fires, and 3 out of those 10 are because of electrical problems, and 1 out of every 4 is because a heat source is too close. And when it comes to real trees, you want to make sure that it's not too dry, because that can also cause some serious fires. In case your trees happen to make it through the holidays fire-free, you also got to make sure that you dispose of them safely. And here to tell us more about that is again firefighter Kevin Sirkowski. Good morning again, Kevin.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. So how do you dispose of a Christmas tree properly?
So one thing that you could do is you could check with your local jurisdictions, for example, the city of Marquette or wherever else you may live. Some places actually do have programs where you could dispose of your trees properly. One thing you don't want to do is put it inside of your house or inside of your garage, mainly because if they are dry, it is a fire hazard, and we want to help try to prevent that.
And tell us again, what are those tips on how to take care of both an artificial tree and a real one?
Absolutely. So if you're looking at getting an artificial tree, Underwriters Laboratory, they do come out with fire retardant trees, and they do all the testings. And then same thing for lights. If you are putting lights on, they will do studies on lights and make sure that they're safe for your trees. And one thing with lights is you want to make sure that you do not over circuit and everything like that, and make sure you're not plugging, too many sources into a power outlet. When it comes to real trees, one thing you want to do is, when first looking for a tree, make sure you look for a healthy green tree and make sure that the needles don't be falling off. You want to cut 2 inches from the base, and then make sure that you water it every day in the tree stand. And make sure you keep it away from any heat sources such as a fireplace, radiators, anything that could catch it on fire by about 3 feet.
And about how often would you say Christmas tree fires happen here in the UP?
That I'm not too sure statistic-wise, but like you said before, on average, just by Christmas trees, about average 210 from the NFPA throughout the country. So, to say in the UP how much Christmas trees, that's kind of hard to say, but it's one thing that we want to help prevent.
Definitely. And if you find yourself in the middle of a fire with a Christmas tree, what do you want to do?
So the first thing to be is call 911. It doesn't matter, even if you put the fire out, it's no problem for us to come. You want to make sure that everybody in the household knows how to use a fire extinguisher if you have one. Make sure they know how to activate it, and make sure they know how to properly use it. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for being with us. So there you have it, folks. We will have some more information on how to stay safe with your Christmas trees this holiday season. Reporting live from Marquette, I'm Samantha Rivera, TV6 News.
Thank you so much, Samantha. As we continue this morning, we'll be back with your top stories.
Catch the TV6 morning replay on Fox UP starting at 7 Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.